Good morning, everyone. Master Builder Show, sponsored by the First National Bank of Weatherford. I'm your host, Jim Gibson, president of Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, a registered builder in the state of Texas, a graduate master builder certified by the National Association of Home Builders. I am a current member of the U.S. Green Building Council, Texas Association of Builders, National Association of Builders, and past president of Parker County. Today, my guest is Rodney Love with Rainwater Harvesting Systems. That's not actually the name of your company, though, is it?
Not actually. That's what I do. The name of my company is Tierra Designs.
Oh, well, tell us a little bit about your company.
What we do, Jim, is we do two things. We do water-wise landscape, meaning we specialize in drought-tolerant plants, efficient irrigation, enhanced soil composition, and we also do rainwater harvesting.
Well, this show is designed to educate and answer any questions of listeners on residential design, construction, anything dealing with building, remodeling, repairing, maintaining a home in the state of Texas. We've also got 4 gift certificates to give away today. They're going to be from Lowe's, and Rodney's going to be probably having 4 questions come up. We're going to do that probably after the first break. We will answer any questions you've got. Just call us toll-free, 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. And also to check out any builders or remodelers, you can go online to www.texasrcc.org. That's www.texasrcc.org. All right, Rodney, tell us a little bit about your systems.
Well, what we've done is we've worked to create rainwater harvesting systems that are applicable for urban, residential, as well as rural and agriculture uses. Our goals are to try to create systems that capture the water, that pre-filter the water before it goes into storage, and then to use it in a variety of applications. Most of what we're doing, we're working with in the cities. We're using it for landscape irrigation. That same water could be piped in to be used for other indoor non-potable water use, such as washing machine water or toilet flushing water. And then we've recently done a project in Grapevine with UV filtration for whole house potable water.
That was the Bannister house, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so I went over and saw that. That was a neat system.
Yeah, that was really one of our. We're really proud of that one. We've got all the features in it, and obviously, when we start doing projects like this that are going to be high profile on a high end house, we've got to have systems that work. So we put all the bells and whistles on that one.
Well, rainwater's been a rainwater collection, I guess, has been around for centuries. Actually, 3,000 years, I guess, on record, all the way back to 850 BC. The main thing people needed to do was collect water when it wasn't available, and that's basically what you're doing now. Is actually in areas that people's wells have dried up or they don't have any surface water that they can pull off of. You've got your systems in place, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, and that's right. We're not doing anything new. Obviously, this has been around for a long time. All we're doing, it seems like we've kind of in the last 50 to 80 years, basically. Just kind of put it on hold or forgot about it, but we've been doing it, like you've said, since 3,000.
Well, we're starting to deplete our aquifers now with all the wells that are being drilled. And how much water does it take per person per day just to normally get by?
On average, in North Texas, most of my numbers are based out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We use annually about between 100 and 180,000 gallons a year. We've got the highest per person use, which I think is about, I can't remember these numbers correctly off the top of my head, but it is, North Texas is the highest per person water use in the state of Texas right now.
Well, I heard the national average was probably about 100 gallons per day per person. People don't realize how much water they use. I mean, when you're taking a shower and you go in there and spend 10, 20, 30 minutes in the shower, you're especially if you don't have low-flow shower heads.
Absolutely. It adds up. And then when you add on top of that our landscape, and in this area we like to have big, nice green lawns. So there's a lot of water we're using, and we don't normally calculate how much that is.
Well, you said you had some calculations. How much rainfall or how much water do you have to how much does it have to rain, I guess, to collect so many gallons of water?
Well, the rule of thumb that you can go by on if you're going to collect off of your roof, for every 1,000 square foot, not your roof square footage, but your footprint of your house square footage, for every 1,000 square foot, 1 inch of rain will give you 600 gallons. So let's say you've got a 3,000 square foot house, so that's 1,800, 2,000 gallons an inch. So a lot of people will say, well, it never rains around here, but you'd be surprised how much just off of, a little bit of rainfall, how much you can collect.
How much rainfall do we normally average around this area?
This area west of Tarrant County, I know in the North Texas we're about 36 on average. I'm not sure exactly. You might know a little bit better. I'm sure it's a little bit less the farther we come out west. Coming out here probably getting down to 30 inches or less. But, of course, last year's have been a little bit wacky. We've got an incredible record rain this year and then drought a couple of years before, but the average numbers show between 30 and 36 inches.
What is one of the questions you're going to ask for the trivia question? We're not going to take probably any callers until after 8:20 or after 8:10, but
why don't we start off with
give y'all something to think about.
Yeah, I think a lot of our listeners may have dealt with water quality with their wells out here. And I've just got a question out of the different types of water, say city water or well water or rainwater. Which one is the softest water?
Which one is the softest water? Okay, like I said, we don't want to take any more any calls on that until after 8:20. It looks like we've got a break coming up, is what Ace is signaling with, so we'll be right back.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Do you know your retirement readiness score or how much money you need to save to retire comfortably? You could pay a financial planner $1,000 or more to find out if you'll be ready for retirement. Or, right now, you can get a personalized analysis of your retirement readiness at yourcircleofwealth.com. The Circle of Wealth Retirement Calculator will give you two very important numbers. First, it calculates the savings you'll need to retire comfortably. Second, it analyzes whether your current financial plan will be successful in reaching your savings goal and delivers your personal retirement readiness score. You can get your personal retirement analysis today and be ready for a great future. As a bonus, you can download a life-changing report with 25 pages of outstanding financial strategies to help reach your retirement goals. You can go to yourcircleofwealth.com, enter the passcode Gibson, yourcircleofwealth.com, passcode Gibson, Gibson.
Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, Weatherford, 817-341-0188. Cronin carries a large selection of masonry supplies, including decorative concrete, overlays, cinder blocks, acid concrete stains by Chemico, and outdoor fireplaces. With over 40 years' experience, if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, 817-341-0188.
Alamo Appliance, 100 South Riverside Drive in Fort Worth, has been dedicated to serving your needs in kitchen appliances for over 35 years. They offer Genair, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and many others. Their experienced sales staff will help you make the right decisions at the right time. That's Alamo Appliance, 817-531-2701. Once again, that's Alamo Appliance, 817-531-2701.
Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I'm Jim Gibson, your host, and today with me I've got Rodney Love with, I guess we're discussing rainwater harvesting systems, not rainwater collection systems. I guess they're called both.
Yeah, both will work. Rainwater catchment, rainwater harvesting.
Let me give you some little history about rainwater collection. It's any method that brings or unites into a body unit of fallen rainwater, surface water, in an organized fashion. On primitive scales, it usually means an excavated cistern of some type, or perhaps a banana leaf that empties into a coconut. I mean, you can go simple forms, I guess.
Sure.
Anything that you can collect rainwater from. In Egypt, for example, the armies would go out in the desert, and they would dig water catches, I guess they were, and that way they could stay out in the desert. And none of the armies that would come in, because the desert itself was their fortress, and they had these secret water caches that only they knew where they were, so they could be out there fighting and fight for a long time and starve, I guess, or just others would die of thirst.
Right. That was war strategy.
A big war strategy. Yeah. Also, in ancient Constantinople, they built a megalithic structure, and what they did, they dug this thing out, and they put columns in it, and made it like a large underground reservoir, and it had pillars and columns in it, and the way they navigated it was by boats.
Wow.
It's supposed to be some site. Of course, they don't use it anymore. But it was called, let's see here, something like the Sunken Palace, I believe it is, a giant underground cistern. It's in Istanbul today, and like I said,
I've seen photos of stuff like that. They're just beautiful.
Yeah, I think they've used it in movies before, where they have a gondola that they kind of go around under the water there, But it was used to catch all the water runoff from the cities around, but the cities have gotten polluted now that they can no longer use it.
Sure.
The island of Malta looks like for a long time, since 1610, has used rainwater collection for their main water sources. You had some other, I think, other history questions?
Well, yeah, I just remember reading recently that in some article or newspaper article I was reading about, they recently determined the largest ancient civilization. And you have a guess on that one?
I would think it would be
the
largest ancient civilization. It's got to be like Mayan or...
that's what I would think, too. It's
Anasazi.
It's going to be the Khmer from Cambodia. You ever seen the photos of the Angkor Wat and all of that?
Right,
it's
right.
the Khmer from the Cambodians.
Khmer.
They were just this great empire, and they've determined that they would have 6 million people as a metropolis in this central area of 6 million people. The interesting thing about it was that the article said they decided that the reason they were able to grow in such a huge scale was because of their rainwater harvesting techniques. So it's interesting. You look back historically, even in our own region, how much of our civilization and the development was all oriented around water. How did we use it? You know, the Romans with the aqueducts, and you go over and look at take a tour of Europe and all of these ancient Roman-built structures all throughout Europe. You'll notice different, just ingenious ways to be able to convey the water.
Well, they built like bridges that were aqueducts that actually came across cavernous areas and stuff like that.
Sure.
I mean, Romans were noted for all their, I guess, rainwater collection. Well, I don't know. I guess it was rainwater collection that they did, and in ponds or dams, I guess they built.
Yeah, it was all about water. I mean, if they didn't have a water source, then I mean, we wouldn't be here. And it's the same thing. It could be the same thing to be said about us. I mean, if it goes back to a water source. All of our towns, started off with some kind of spring or river.
I remember growing up, we had artesian wells, but as populations grew, we started building reservoirs around, such as Cedar Creek Lake. I guess there's Joe Pool was built primarily for water catchment, to provide water for the surrounding areas.
Sure.
What the water we were going to talk about, watersheds or?
Well, it's I've got a couple of trivia questions we'll get to there, but it's interesting. I mean, you think back historically, and we're all of our towns, wherever we are, is based on where the water is, and the watersheds are basically it's our own rainwater harvesting area. It's where the water falls, and it's going to be conveyed to a certain area, and all of us are within a watershed. And I like to try to, I mean, most of us today, when we think of water, our kind of connection with water is about 8 inches between that spigot and the drain. And so where does it come from and where does it go? What I like to kind of do is to try to bring it back to the fact that all of that water, more than any other resource, you think about like our buildings, you think of our fuel, you think of our food. All of this stuff comes from somewhere else today, doesn't it?
Right.
And it's just all shipped in from somewhere else, except for water. In general, all of our water is based on a local region, and that's within our watershed.
Well, like you said, as long as water is not a problem, people really don't even think about it.
Right.
As long as they've got it there in the house and they can turn on the water, I guess the spigot there and it comes out. The mentality for getting as a whole is that in the past, we learned to make a better and a brighter future by not repeating the same mistakes as our forefathers. Mm-hmm. So if you can, I guess water conservation is a big thing now. It's becoming more prevalent because of our population growth is the main thing, and our use of water, because we're actually draining the aquifers.
Yes, we are.
Because it takes we take a whole lot more in, I guess, or out of the aquifer than goes back in, because it takes 10 years or so from the surface water to come back in.
About at least that. Some of them may never be replenished. Some of these ancient ones.
Well, Ace is saying that we got to have another break. We'll be back after the break.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Do you know your retirement readiness score, or how much money you need to save to retire comfortably? You could pay a financial planner $1,000 or more to find out if you'll be ready for retirement. Or, right now, you can get a personalized analysis of your retirement readiness at yourcircleofwealth.com. The Circle of Wealth Retirement Calculator will give you 2 very important numbers. First, it calculates the savings you'll need to retire comfortably. Second, it analyzes whether your current financial plan will be successful in reaching your savings goal and delivers your personal retirement readiness score. You can get your personal retirement analysis today and be ready for a great future. As a bonus, you can download a life-changing report with 25 pages of outstanding financial strategies to help reach your retirement goals. You can go to yourcircleofwealth.com, enter the passcode Gibson. Yourcircleofwealth.com, passcode Gibson, GIBSON.
Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, Weatherford, 817-341-0188. Cronin carries a large selection of masonry supplies, including decorative concrete, overlays, cinder blocks, acid concrete stains by Kimiko, and outdoor fireplaces. With over 40 years' experience, if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, 817-341-0188.
The Bank of Weatherford, local folks you know and trust. We are proud of our community and our customers. Whether you need a checking account, personal or business loan, auto loan, interim construction loan, or mortgage loan, we can help. You may visit us at 901 Santa Fe Drive in Weatherford, or you may give us a call at 817-596-9998. You may also visit us on the web at www.thebankofweatherford.com. The Bank of Weatherford, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to Master Builder Show. Looks like we've got a caller. Okay. They said we don't have a caller. We were talking about water conservation when we left. And I think Rodney's got some things to actually our problem's coming with the population growth, I guess, in the areas.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at. We've gone through last two years ago one of the worst droughts since the 50s. And as far as the precipitation goes.
Looks like we've got a caller. Welcome to the Master Builder Show. You're live on the air. This is Jim Gibson. Can I help you?
I wondered if you had an answer to the trivia question yet.
We didn't. Have you got an answer for it?
Well, I can take a guess.
All right.
Well, I think that probably city water is softer than well water.
What I guess what we need is the natural form. What is the softest water naturally?
Naturally?
Naturally, yes. What is the softest water found in nature? Come on. You know what it is. You just think about it.
Well, water that runs naturally from any stream or river?
No, that's not it. So sorry. Okay.
Oh, right. Well, thanks anyway.
Thank you.
Listen.
All right. We're talking about water conservation and the reason it's so important now, and because our aquifers don't have enough water in them to support the population growth. Is that correct?
That's right, as well as our lakes. Most of North Texas, looking over into the Dallas and the Fort Worth, going over a little bit east of here, that region is growing. It's one of the fastest growing regions in the nation, and we have traditionally been living off of reservoirs that we've created. We call them lakes. That's Eagle Mountain Lake, just a little bit east of here. Lake Worth, they were some of the earliest lakes, and back in the early 1900s, those lakes were originally built for flood control for, say, the city of Fort Worth, all right? And then we began to realize that they could be used for water source as well, and so from the 50s on, we began building these lakes all across North Texas for our water use. Well, what we've done is we've reached a bit of the capacity. Our population has taken over what these reservoirs can deal with, as well as our aquifers out here as we begin to expand and grow out here.
All right, people, if y'all have got any questions, call us toll-free, 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. And the trivia question for a $25 gift certificate today is, or one of the trivia questions is, what is nature's softest form of water? What is nature's softest form of water? Call us on 877-341-8950. What exactly is a roof washer?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's these little guys that run around on the roof with squeegee boards, and they're not. A roof washer, that's a term that you'll hear about if you start looking into rainwater harvesting. And a roof washer is basically what we're trying to do is get that first flush of water.
Welcome to the Master Builder Show. We've got a caller. You're live.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Is the answer to the trivia question rainwater?
That is correct. It is rainwater.
My mother used to wash my hair with rainwater when I was a little girl.
What is your name?
Cassie Bailey.
Kathy Bailey.
Cassie like Cassandra.
Cassie.
Okay, Cassie Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know where the station is?
I do.
All right. You got a gift certificate here you can pick up at your leisure. Thank you, Cassie.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Cassie, you'll know because you grew up having your hair washed with it. But there are a lot of people, Jim, down in the hill country using rainwater systems. They're choosing rainwater over well water simply because of the quality of the water. Say when you wash your clothes in well water, you have to deal with that kind of starchiness, or you don't like to feel that on your body. There's people are down in the hill country going with the rainwater just because it feels better.
Well, it's soft, and people up here with their well water, we're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars. I know I bought a water softener here not too long ago, and that was rather expensive. And plus, you've got to maintain it, and add the salts and stuff like that. So if you can collect the rainwater, you don't have that problem.
That's right. That's right.
And we were talking about roof washers.
Roof washers.
What is
a roof washer? What we're talking about here, it's a technical roof washing or rainwater harvesting term. Basically, what we're trying to do is kind of divert the first 50 to 80 gallons of a rainfall before it goes into your storage tank. So that's why it's kind of a roof washer. We're getting the grime and the dirt and the pollution that may have settled over time on your roof. And we want to divert that. Now, you can just let it, as we divert it, we can just send it off and let it run down into the garden. But you could also kind of use that water for a different purpose. Use it for your orchard or something like that. But we want that first 50 or 80 gallons of water to be diverted, and then the rest of it will go into your storage for use for potable water or for your livestock. So it's type of pre-filtration before it gets in the tank that gets some of the finer particulates out of your storage water. Now, there's different ways to do that. The poor man's roof washer is to be, let's say we've got a downspout coming off of a gutter, and we're going to convert that downspout to a PVC, 3-inch PVC, and at the bottom of that, we're going to put a valve on it and close that valve. So that first flush, that first few gallons of water in that downspout is going to shoot down, it's going to stop, and it's going to back up, and then we're going to take our water that we want to our tank coming down and go to the tank. So you're kind of collecting.
So it's a sediment process. Is that way? I mean, that's
it's the real fine particulates that we're just going to divert that water off. You can actually buy a roof washer. What we did out at the Bannister house is we arranged for one to go underground, and it works really well.
Looks like we've got another caller coming here. Welcome to the Master Builder Show. You're live on the air with Jim Gibson. Can I help you?
Did you get an answer to the trivia question?
We got an answer to the first trivia question. Yes, we did. It was rainwater.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're quite welcome. We've got another trivia question, and I think you got it written down there. What's your next trivia question here for a $25 gift certificate?
Okay, Jim. We were talking about watersheds. Now, a watershed is, again, where our water falls and where it goes. It's part of the land. It's where we get our water from. And so I thought we might just ask, what watershed do you live in? Let's say if you're living in Weatherford, what watershed do you live in? And I can give you, I'll just leave it at that, and we'll see how far we can go with that.
Yeah, leave it at that. And you can call us with an answer at 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. And the question is, what watershed do you live in? And it depends on what area you're in as to what watershed.
That's correct. You can be in Glen Rose and be in one watershed.
Right, and be in Weatherford and be in another, and be in Dallas and be in another.
Actually, Dallas, Fort Worth, that's going to be one watershed, and then Glen Rose would be. That's a hint for you. If you're in Glen Rose, you're in one watershed. If you're in Fort Worth, you're in another watershed.
Okay, on the roof washers, you install it in such a way that how much maintenance is involved, like on the roof washers itself?
Well, what I do on the roof washers themselves is very, very little.
Just wash it down.
Yeah. It's just it just falls down a pipe, and I'm going to size up how many gallons of water I want diverted. Because the way the whole system, just to help put all the roof washer in perspective, is what we're doing is we're going to collect off the roof, and we're going to change our downspouts off the gutters into a conveyance route, and that conveyance route is what we use to divert the first 80 gallons down. So the roof washer has very little maintenance.
Welcome to the Master Builder Show. You're live on the air. This is Jim Gibson. You got an answer to the question?
Yes. Is it Biloxi?
That's going to be it's related, but it's not the watershed. We're talking about. I think what you're talking about there is the aquifer.
Right. You're talking about we were drilling a well. The watershed is actually on the surface, to give you a hint. So you cut him off there. Whoops. Sorry. If you've got to answer that, call us back, caller. I think he's got a little trigger happy there and trying to keep it going here. The Texas water supply, Texas rainwater harvesting. We were talking about watersheds, and that is the trivia question. Call us on 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950.
And in some way, the watershed can be kind of the big picture of what we're trying to do with rainwater harvesting. Think about your roof, and you got a peak on the roof there, and then water's going to go one way in one direction and go another way, and that's what we're looking at watersheds. But within a watershed, we're going to convey that to a certain place. It's all going to, within a watershed, all that water is going to run down to a river. And then from the river, that's where we build our dams and our lakes. So that's kind of our big macro rainwater harvesting system is to build dams on our rivers, and that's within the watershed.
Yeah, people don't realize that all along, and we've been doing it for years, or since the 50s, it's actually dealing with rainwater harvesting only on a large fashion.
Sure, and that's one form of it. It's not the most efficient use of rainwater harvesting, and that's what we're trying to get at now. Is our grandparents did rainwater harvesting out of the ranch. They had cisterns, and it's just much more efficient to begin using our water on site. Think about that water when we have to convey it from the reservoirs with pipes and pumps to get it to the treatment plant, all of the energy and the input and all of that's involved in that, and then to pump it right back to where it came from. That's what we're dealing with right here. So not only are we addressing with catching it off the roof and keeping it on site for water conservation, but you got to think of the energy output and input that we're saving as well.
How much does it take to pump the water?
That's right. That's a lot of energy going in there to get that water back to you.
Okay, we got another caller. Welcome to the Master Builder Show. You're live on the air.
How about the Brazos?
The Brazos, I believe.
I think that's an answer, and we'll take it. If you're, where are you? Where do you live?
North of Weatherford.
North of Weatherford. We're right on the top of the watershed. So some of our listeners could be calling from the Brazos watershed, and we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and answer that one. Let you answer that one. There's one more that would be in the Fort Worth, and that's where we are in Weatherford. Do you know what that one might be?
Trinity.
There you got it.
All right, there you go. What's your name, sir?
Brad Wilmot.
Brad?
Wilmot. Yep.
Brad Wilmot. All right, Brad. You know where the station is?
Yes, sir.
All right. You've got a $25 gift certificate to Lowe's. You'll come by and pick it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I guess we were talking about the rainwater shed, and then think before you drink, I guess, is going to be the next item we're going to cover. And on drinking water, it's a good idea, and their main concern is rainwater quality, I guess. Now, people, I guess, have the misconception that rainwater is pure as it falls out of the sky, and that's not always the case, is it?
Well, it is relatively pure. I mean, it's pure than a lot of if you're going to pull it out of a lake or a tank or anything like that. But we do definitely want to do some filtration.
Well, it's actually the way that Mother Nature cleans the atmosphere too, because as it falls, it's collecting dust particles and what contaminates is, I guess, is what's in the dust, or if it's raining after smoke or fire. It collects the smoke, and it tends to collect whatever it's falling through.
That's true.
Because water tends to dissolve anything that it approaches.
That's exactly right. So it's not necessarily we do need to give it some treatment.
Well, there's talking about treatment. I guess after you store it, and there's different treatments for different uses, correct? I mean, if you're going to use it to water your yard or flush, you're trying to take the large particles out, and if you're going to use it for potable water, let's talk about that. What do you need to do to rainwater to drink it?
Filtration's a big part of what we do, and it begins with your gutters. Everybody's probably heard of different types of gutter protection, meaning like gutter screens and these kind of things to keep the leaves out so you don't have to clean them all the time. We don't really like to use the gutter screens. They don't really work all that well. And so there's a new product we've got out there. It's called the gutter filter, and it's basically one of those things you think, why didn't I think of that? But it's a UV repellent, sponge-like porous material that basically is inserted into your gutters, and those leaves stay on top. The water flows through, and it goes down. So our gutters are our first line of defense on the filtration.
All right, we've got another break coming up. Asa signaled me. We'll be back right after the break.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Do you know your retirement readiness score, or how much money you need to save to retire comfortably? You could pay a financial planner $1,000 or more to find out if you'll be ready for retirement. Or, right now, you can get a personalized analysis of your retirement readiness at yourcircleofwealth.com. The Circle of Wealth Retirement Calculator will give you two very important numbers. First, it calculates the savings you'll need to retire comfortably. Second, it analyzes whether your current financial plan will be successful in reaching your savings goal and delivers your personal retirement readiness score. You can get your personal retirement analysis today and be ready for a great future. As a bonus, you can download a life-changing report with 25 pages of outstanding financial strategies to help reach your retirement goals. You can go to yourcircleofwealth.com, enter the passcode Gibson, yourcircleofwealth.com, passcode Gibson, Gibson.
Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, Weatherford, 817-341-0188. Cronin carries a large selection of masonry supplies, including decorative concrete, overlays, cinder blocks, acid concrete stains like Kamiko, and outdoor fireplaces. With over 40 years' experience, if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, 817-341-0188. Alamo Electrical Contracting Services, 9500 Camp Bowie West, Fort Worth, Texas, 817-249-4964, offering residential and commercial electrical services in Parker, Palo Pinto, Wise, Hood, Johnson, Erath, and Tarrant counties. That's Alamo Electrical Contracting Services, 9500 Camp Bowie West, Fort Worth, Texas, 817-249-4964. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I am Jim Gibson. Our guest today is Don Love with the Rainwater Harvesting Systems, and we've got another trivia question to ask. And I guess Rodney, you're going to ask that one.
You bet. I've got a good question for y'all out there. Give me 2 ways to sanitize water. We have to do all kinds of different filtration in this business, and so if we wanted to drink water, just give me 2 ways to sanitize. Meaning sanitize, I mean to get the bacteria out.
And that number is 877-341-8950. It is 877, toll-free, 877-341-8950. We were talking about filtration of water primarily, and you were talking about that gutter system to start with.
Right.
What other process does it go through after it gets through the gutter?
Once we get through the gutter with gutter protection, then we've also got the roof washer, which we've already talked about.
Hello?
Hello, this is Master Builder Show. You're live on the air with Jim Gibson. You got an answer to the question?
You can boil it.
Boiling it? Is that one of the answers?
That's one of the answers. You can boil it.
We need one other type. We need 2 types. Boiling it, and what other methods are used to sanitize water?
Add chlorine bleach.
There you go.
There you go. What's your name, caller?
Terry Matherly.
Carrie?
Terry.
Terry Matherly?
Yes, sir.
You know where the radio station is?
Is it near Fox Road?
No, it's 1612 South. It's South Main in Weatherford. I can get let me get you off the air, and I'll let Ace give you directions here. But I'll have that gift certificate sitting here waiting for you.
Ma'am, where do you live?
In Garner.
Okay, I guess you'd come down Mineral Wells Highway, 180 toward Weatherford. When you get to the courthouse, turn to the right, and we're at 1612 South Main. We're right across the street from Long John Silver's and Weatherford National Bank.
Okay, great.
Appreciate the help.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Okay.
All right, so she got that answer. Boiling it, chlorine. And that's traditionally what we've done with water. You know, we've added the chlorine bleach. That's been something that's just saved lives all over the world.
All over the world, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, even today.
But there's some other filtration systems that we've got. We've got another phone caller here. Hello, caller. Welcome to the Master Builder Show. You're live.
Yes, well, chlorine is one of my answers, and the other one is charcoal.
Yes, ma'am. We just gave that gift certificate away. But
Okay.
You had the right answers. You're just one call a little late there. Thank you.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's right, Jim. There's some new technology today that just make this stuff work to where the chlorine works. It gets the bacteria out. Some people, they don't necessarily like to use it just because it's chlorine. It's got chemicals in it, and that's what the city uses. And I mean, it's certainly, you can't knock it because that's why we've got healthy water. But there's some new technologies out there that would eliminate the chemicals, and that would be type of UV filtration as well as ozonization. Those are two products that work. They're affordable. I can install a UV filter today for about $850. It's just amazing the technology that's available.
How much power does it's just a UV light? Isn't
it's just a UV light. Very little. I can't give you the wattage of the usage, but it's not a huge load.
Okay, and so what we're doing, we're collecting the water off the roof. It comes in, it goes through the
downspouts. Then we take it to the roof washer, and I only use roof washers if I'm going to be using it for potable water. From the downspouts, we take it through some pre-filters, and the goal to keeping fresh, clean water is to keep as much organic matter out of the storage tank before it goes in there as possible. If we can keep that organic matter out of there, then what are we going to? Then we're going to keep that water a lot fresher. So I'm bringing in some products that are low maintenance, self-cleaning filters. There's a lot of countries outside of the U.S., such as Germany and Australia, that have been doing this rainwater harvesting on a larger scale for quite a while.
Well, they're a lot more in water conservation than we are. I know they're washing machines and stuff like that have been set up for years to use less water than what, and we're just now getting to that stage.
That's right. We're just now getting there. Australia's about 10 years ahead of some of these things, working through the issues. They're having to go through a lot of what we're going through now. They did that 10 years ago where, you go back 50, 80 years ago, everybody's doing rainwater harvesting. And then the water got centralized, and we're having to kind of reorient our codes and our legislation to this rainwater harvesting thing. Australia went through that about 10 years ago. I'm doing it right now. I'm working with cities everywhere we go. The state of Texas is highly promoting. They've set up codes for us to use, and so now it's just a matter of us kind of getting safe, clean products and services that actually work. But what I'll do is I'll bring in these products from Australia that will pre-filter the water. So we're getting any kind of fine particles down, and they're self-cleaning. You don't have to go out there and clean it every time it rains. And that's before it goes into the tank itself.
Well, that was one of the main things that I heard that was a negative about rainwater harvesting system with the older ones, and that was all the maintenance was required. So you're just taking away a lot of that maintenance and making it a whole lot easier to do.
That's right, and that's thanks to German engineering.
Engineering. You've got another trivia question here we got to ask. We got one more gift certificate giveaway today, and I guess Rodney.
Yeah, I've got one ready to go here. It's going to be related to our water storage, which is kind of the next chain in our system here. How do we keep algae out of our tanks?
How do we keep algae out of your tank on your rainwater collection system? You can call us toll free, 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. And it looks like we've got
Let me qualify that. Without chemicals.
Without chemicals, yes. Hello, caller. You're live on the Master Builder Show.
I believe one of the ways that I've heard is to keep it from exposure to sunlight.
You got it. Keep the light out and no algae.
Very good. What's your name, caller?
Mary. Bynum.
Mary Bynum. Are you located in Rutherford or?
No, sir. I'm out here at Brock.
Out in Brock. All right. You know where the station is?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll got your gift certificate here, and you can come by and pick it up. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We were talking about Rodney filtering or...
Yeah, pre-filtering before it gets into the tank. And so we're bringing in different products that are self-cleaning. You don't have to go out there and change these things out. A real common one to use these days are basket filters. Basically, the water's going to dump through the top of the tank, go through about a 10-micron basket filter. Those certainly work, and they'll do the trick. They'll help to keep that water out. But what you'll find is that some of that debris will kind of accumulate on the top and will begin to break down. These products that I'm bringing in from Germany, you don't have that problem. The other, once it gets to the tank, other filter that I use is called a floating intake filter. So basically what that is in the tank, you've got a ball that floats, and the intake filter is pulling from the cleanest part of the tank, meaning about a foot below the water line. So you can imagine the sediment that may settle. Bottom. That's right. So it's not pulling from the bottom, and the top may have pollen or any kind of. So it's going to float and pull from the cleanest part.
To get a copy of the rainwater harvesting, I guess guide, it's put out by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, the TCEQ. That's TCEQ. I don't have their number here, but you can go to www.rainwaterharvesting.tamu.edu/inhome.html and click on harvesting, storing, and treating rainwater. And it'll you can pick up the whole manual there.
That's right. In Texas, believe it or not, Texas is one of the most informative states in the country on rainwater harvesting. They're promoting rainwater harvesting to quite a degree, and they've got a great manual that you can link to off of my website. It's the Rain Harvesters with an S, THE Rain Harvesters with an S.com.
That's a whole lot easier than the other that I just gave out.
The rainharvesters.com, yeah. And if you go there, I've got a resource page, and that's going to take you to calculators. It's going to take you to manuals. And like I said, Texas is really promoting rainwater harvesting.
Okay, Ace is signaling another break. We'll be right back after the break.
Did you know that some of the best home builders in the entire nation are right here in Parker County? Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden, president of First National Bank of Weatherford. Our lenders believe your family deserves the best when it comes to your dream home. First National Bank is proud to support the Master Builder Show on QXFM. First National Bank in Weatherford has been building homes in Parker County since 1880. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Do you know your retirement readiness score or how much money you need to save to retire comfortably? You could pay a financial planner $1,000 or more to find out if you'll be ready for retirement. Or, right now, you can get a personalized analysis of your retirement readiness at yourcircleofwealth.com. The Circle of Wealth Retirement Calculator will give you two very important numbers. First, it calculates the savings you'll need to retire comfortably. Second, it analyzes whether your current financial plan will be successful in reaching your savings goal and delivers your personal retirement readiness score. You can get your personal retirement analysis today and be ready for a great future. As a bonus, you can download a life-changing report with 25 pages of outstanding financial strategies to help reach your retirement goals. You can go to yourcircleofwealth.com, enter the passcode Gibson. Yourcircleofwealth.com, passcode Gibson, GIBSON.
Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, Weatherford, 817-341-0188. Cronin carries a large selection of masonry supplies, including decorative concrete, overlays, cinder blocks, acid concrete stains by Kimiko, and outdoor fireplaces. With over 40 years' experience, if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, 817-341-0188. Henson Lumber, Crescent, Texas, 817-396-4321. www.hensonlumber.com. Henson Lumber, serving our community since 1973. Both lumber and millwork products. The full-time estimator gives customers defined and accurate materials estimates. The millwork department has windows, doors, trim, and hardware. www.hensonlumber.com. Henson Lumber, Crescent, Texas, 817-396-4321. United Mirror and Glass, 611 Old Garner Road, Weatherford, Texas, 76086. You can reach them on 817-613-0672. United Mirror and Glass, family owned and operated with over 30 years' experience. Your residential glass specialist for showers, mirrors, custom beveling, leaded glass, sandblasting, storefront, commercial applications, and insulated replacements. No job is too small or too big. We have not forgotten the definition for customer service. All warranty issues will be resolved. United Mirror and Glass at 817-613-0672. Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. I'm Jim Gibson, your host. Today my guest is Rodney Love with Rainwater Harvesting Systems. Rodney, we were talking about, filtration systems and all the associated materials. One of the important things, I guess, would be to ask what kind of roof I guess, material or otherwise, what's a good roof to use? What's a bad roof to use?
That's a good question, Jim. At some level, depends on, first, what are you going to use it for? When you're going to use it for potable water, you want to be careful about what type of roof you're using. And obviously, some of the cleanest roofs that wouldn't leach material, that's what we're looking for. So some of the newer metal roofs, slate, tile, all of that would be the ideal roof. And then you start looking at different material like your composite roof. And then we're getting a little bit concerned about what type of leaching we may have from our composite shingles. But I still don't have a problem using even composite roofs for irrigation,
right.
Landscape irrigation.
Right.
Like
yeah,
that.
because you're primarily just talking about they're oil-based, I guess, and over a period of time you may get some oil in them or something like that. And you really got to watch what kind of, you can't really use a lot of the older metal roofs because of metal contamination, I guess, would be the, especially lead paints and stuff that were on the older ones. Sure. There had been some cases, I think, that people were using the metal roofs, the older metal roofs, and watering their gardens with it. And the test showed that the heavy metals, I guess, were collected in the vegetables, were above the allowed limit. So really, just on the metal roofs, if you're using a lot of tin roofs, which would have, I guess, a lead content in them.
Right.
But
if they're newer material.
They're newer.
And you got to think about it too, though. I mean, it's even something that's really popular these days to use for city water is reverse osmosis. Now, why are they using reverse osmosis in Dallas, Fort Worth, and all that? Well, that's because their city water's got metals in it,
right?
And so, I mean, even it just kind of depends on what we're comparing it to.
So,
and you can deal with it. Pretty much whatever you've got on whatever type of roof you're wanting, but the ideal roofs are certainly going to be tile, slate, metal, but I've had people that are willing to take a chance and put a reverse osmosis on a potable water system coming off a composite roof as well.
So after you've collected the water, what you want to pick out all the big debris, and then you want to eliminate any mineral, I guess, content that it may have.
Sure. After we get to the tank, and there's different type of tanks. I don't know if we want to get into storage something separately, or might as well hit it along the line.
Along the line.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can put tanks underground. We've got poly tanks. I've got a great tank for agriculture, rural areas where I'm putting up 50,000 gallon tanks for people that want to live off of this stuff completely, rainwater, or they're using it as well for this storage for well water. But you can poly tanks, underground tanks. I've got some great options for large water storage out in the country. But once you get it to the tank, keep the light out of it. That's the key. Pre-filter it, and then out of the tank, we've got different options. If we're using it for potable water, I take it through a carbon filter, a sediment filter, and a UV filter. And the UV filter is what we're using to sanitize the water. The carbon is primarily being used to help with odors and this type thing.
So if you had odors in your wells out here, do you think carbon would take the smell out?
I would think so. I'm not a well water specialist, but from what I understand, it would work well with sulfur.
Rainwater. Well, okay, we're talking. We said roofing materials are not good for rainwater harvesting. I guess for potable water or potable water, whichever you pronounce it, would be asphalt shingles and stuff like that.
That's not ideal. Like I said, I've had people put a reverse osmosis on there
and take care of it.
Yeah, and we do water tests, and when we'll send this water off to the test, and so we can measure all of this stuff, and it's recommended. The state has given us guidelines that we're following right now. And it's recommended that you test your water at least quarterly.
Okay. Tell us the name of your company again, how people can contact you. You've got a website and you've got phone numbers. Why don't you go ahead and give that out?
The name of my company is Tierra Designs, TIERRA Designs. And my website is therainharvesters.com. I'm out of Denton, Texas. My phone number is 940-566-0517. Again, my number, 940-566-0517. The website's therainharvesters.com. I got a lot of information on there just for your own education and purposes, and anything you need to know about our projects or how to contact us, you can find off that website.
And you've got the links to the
That's correct.
manual that TCEQ puts out.
And it's a good man. It's 60 pages worth of more than you'll ever want to know.
Well, I started to print one out and bring it down here, and I said, no, I don't want to use that much paper.
Yeah, it's a lot of paper.
But anyway, next week we're going to be talking about roofing, so this is going to kind of tie right back into that. And the main thing, I don't guess you'd want to use any kind of wooden shingles as far as rainwater collection.
I haven't, no, I haven't. But I wouldn't be open. I haven't looked into it, so I imagine we could find some way to filter, but I haven't done that. So.
Well, I guess if you had it steep enough, you could actually collect it, but I'm sure that there would be a lot of contaminants.
That's
and other things would absorb in the porous materials.
Yeah. I'd probably just use it recommend it for irrigation.
They've got some membrane roofings out now too that I guess they're actually a spray-on application that you could treat another roof. We're going to be wrapping up the Master Builder Show. I want to thank everybody for listening today. I am Jim Gibson, your host. Our guest today was Rodney Love with Tierra Designs. And we'll talk to you next Tuesday at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 a.m. talking about roof. This is Jim Gibson. We'll see you later.